Aloha! As you can see, Toonses and I made it to Hawaii in one piece. And as you can tell from my attire, I am working really hard to fit in with the locals here because the last thing I need is to walk around looking like some sort of tourist. This is a follow-up to my life update video, which I made a while back, letting everyone know that the other side asked me to move to Hawaii because it was for my highest good. So I finally did it. It wasn't easy, but I'm really glad I'm here. It feels like a higher level of existence. The energy's awesome, very spiritual culture. Everyone's been really warm and really friendly to me, so I'm pretty excited to be here. Before I moved here, the divine asked me to take a shorter trip to Hawaii just to check it out because he said that I'd be happier here. So he suggested I come here and just dip my toe in the water. And I was really happy that he asked me to do it because before I even got off the plane, this felt like home. I looked at Hawaii outside the airplane window and I was like, yeah, this feels like home. And I was really grateful for that opportunity because the divine is all about blind faith and trust. So I was really grateful for the opportunity to just come and check it out before I just flat out move here. And that trip was amazing. I guess the hardest part about relocating to Hawaii is just having to take responsibility for the decision. I, Christine Pavlina, as a channel of divine truth, know that it is in my best interest to follow what the divine asked me to do. So from my perspective, I'm like someone who, in the army who is like restationed somewhere. I know I have free will. I understand that, but I don't really feel like I had a choice in the matter. I felt like I was energetically kicked out of Los Angeles. I felt like a fish swimming upstream. I felt vulnerable there. I didn't feel as protected. Here in Hawaii, I feel safer. I feel protected. I feel like I'm aligned with truth. I feel like universal energies are supporting me being here. So energetically, it was just a no-brainer for me. I don't really feel like I had a choice, but my friends and family don't really know that. So they look at this decision as me just leaving them. And from the outside looking in, I just look like somebody who wants to go to Hawaii and screw around. Of course you want to move to an island paradise. Duh, it's a no-brainer. But for me, I'm following divine guidance. I'm part of a bigger plan. So I had to take responsibility for a decision that I was asked to do by the divine. It's very odd. You know, it's like, I know I hurt people's feelings and, you know, my bestie was really sad and then I felt like crap and I'm like, God, I'm I'm taking a responsibility for a decision that's not really mine. I'm in the army and I was restationed. That's how I look at it. I'm somebody who's in the army that was restationed. Like, did they have a choice? Like, yes, I could have stayed in LA, but it would have been energetically uncomfortable for me because I'm sensitive to energy. So this was something I had to do for my highest good. I mean, this is exactly where the divine wants me. Yeah, see? My gut's getting warm like a Care Bear. And that's the other side saying, yes, truth, truth. Hawaii is her truth. So that was really hard for me mentally and emotionally, was looking at my loved ones and saying, I'm really not ditching you. I'm just following divine orders. And I'm like, okay, psycho. Yeah, they don't really understand it. They will later, though, when they see that I'm part of a bigger divine plan designed to help people. So this isn't really coming from me. There's a bigger picture here, but I understand that has yet to be shown to people. So stay tuned for that. When I got on the plane with Toonces to come here, I was like, we did it! Because a lot of stuff had to align in order for us to get here. And it was a complicated move. I mean, it wasn't that easy. It's not like I moved an entire family here, so I understand it's not complicated compared to other people per se. But for me, it was a pretty complicated move. Just getting an animal into the state of Hawaii and completely avoiding the quarantine was pretty tough. I had a lot of things to do, and I noticed that amidst all of the pandemonium, the other side was still really, really big on self-care. And they still had me carve out time to go to the gym and exercise and eat healthy, like salads and stuff, because I felt like I was getting enough exercise, packing boxes, lifting boxes. I was on the 3rd floor with no elevator, so going up and down stairs all day. At the end of the day, my feet were killing me. And they were like, okay, time to jog 3 miles. I'm like, I'm not jogging 3 miles. My feet are killing me. And they're like, yes, you are. You're going to rally. And I did, and I was fine. But they wanted me to have that endorphin rush in order to keep my vibe high, because I had a lot of decisions to make in a short amount of time. So the other side needed me to keep my vibe high, and they were doing that via endorphins. But they're really, really big on exercising no matter what. That's self-care, man. Got to keep it up. Got to keep it up no matter what. Even if you have a lot of things on your plate, make room for it. So they kicked my butt. And with regards to all of the decisions that I had to make within a short amount of time, I would definitely say my intuition was a blessing and a curse, because I was having multiple meltdowns because my gut was just acting up all over the place. And obviously that was my higher self, my spirit guides, the divine, the other side guiding me through my gut to make the right decisions. But it was still really hard when my gut was just all over the place in such a short amount of time. And like, I was about to sign a legal contract and my gut started going crazy. I'm like, what, what's wrong? And it's like, it turned out like the address needed to be, corrected or whatever. I'm like, oh, I could do that. I could correct that. No problem, But it's like little things like that. You're like, whoa, like almost like developing PTSD. Like, what is it now? Because when your gut acts up, there's a reason for it, and you have to figure out what that reason is. You have to pull the information out of your gut. It starts with a physical sensation, which is clairsentience, but then you have to find out why your gut is getting tight and make sure you're clear about that too. So I think I have PTSD from making so many decisions. At one point, I actually had to stop a customer service rep that I was talking to on the phone and just say, listen, I don't know what's going on, but my gut is just not happy with the game plan that you came up with, so we need to come up with a different game plan. And it turns out he was being really salesy and kind of told like a white lie that I caught him in. And so that's where I was like, okay, my gut caught that too. That's cool. So a lot of stuff was revealed to me during a short amount of time, but it's a blessing and a curse. It made it easier and harder for me. It really did. So I implore you guys to pay total attention to your gut when you're making multiple decisions in a short amount of time. I mean, it can drive you crazy, but it's important. It keeps you going in the right direction. So that said, the other side asked me to talk about the intuitive lessons that people could take away from my experience. So first of all, like I said, getting an animal into Hawaii is pretty complicated. It's a pretty tough process. And my veterinarian had actually recommended a pet travel agency for me. And I was pretty excited about it because I wanted that peace of mind. I wanted a professional who had experience with the process, and I wanted them to handle it. But the problem is when I did a read on the pet travel agency brochure, the energy felt flat. There was nothing behind it. Just felt flat. Like a total absence of energy. And I was like, oh, darn it! Because I knew what that meant. The absence of energy meant that I don't end up using them. For one reason or another, I knew that I was not going to end up using this pet travel agency, and that bummed me out because the energy was flat. There was just nothing there. So I didn't, and I ended up doing everything myself, which was fine. It made life a little more difficult, but it was fine. I managed to avoid the quarantine completely with Toonsers. So he rode on the airplane with me and everything was good. When Toonses is petrified, he just sits there like a bump on a log and stays very quiet. So he was a good kitty. Poor little baby. Anyway, he's fine now. He's like focusing on sunning himself and getting a tan every day. He loves Hawaii. He's just kind of a sun worshiper. So that's one of the things that I wanted to let you guys know is when the energy feels flat, it means you don't end up taking that path. If there's no energy behind that alternate reality or that path, it means you don't end up going that way. It's just flat, nothing there. My car. I shipped my car to Hawaii via a little company called Matson. You may have heard of them. And it was pretty daunting giving my car keys to a total stranger and saying, here you go, have fun with it. But I was able to do a read on my car and the energy around it felt very positive and aligned with truth and like doing what I'm supposed to be doing and it gets there okay. So I knew my car would arrive in Hawaii okay. But I'm not going to say that I was just sitting there smoking a cigarette the entire time. I had peace of mind, but I wasn't just like, whatever, you know, it's still daunting to have your car on a barge, right? But I knew it got there okay because there was no negative energy surrounding my car. So I knew it got there okay. So I was all right. I had like some peace of mind. So that's why I wanted to tell you guys, it's important to develop your intuition. And I know developing your intuition sucks. I even made a video called that. But it's important to develop your intuition just to know things are okay and you can do like a double check on things. Like, hey, does my car get there okay? Yeah, all right, it's cool. So it makes it a lot less stressful for you so that you're not biting off your fingernails the entire time. If I wasn't able to do a read on it, I probably would have been biting my fingernails off. I probably wouldn't have been that comfortable with my car being on the ocean for so long. And but I was okay. I had peace of mind because I didn't feel any negative energy around my car. And I knew that I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. Because I'm sitting here in an island paradise, I wish I had a different state of mind right now, but I'm still very much in business mode. I almost feel guilty for being in paradise and being in business mode, but my friend said something very wise to me, and I'm going to quote her. You're not on vacation, but you think you should be because of where you are. That sums it up perfectly. I feel like I should be on vacation because of where I am, but I'm still in business mode. So in order to do business in the state of Hawaii, you have to ask the state of Hawaii for permission in the form of forming a corporation and getting like business licenses and permits in place and setting up this and setting up that legally and making sure everything is set in place before you start working and making money. So that's what I've been doing right now, meeting, talking to, accountants, attorneys, a bank, setting up that kind of stuff, the state of Hawaii, making sure everything is set up properly before I start working here. So that's why you'll see that my calendar on my website is closed because I have to make sure everything is properly set up for my company before I can start working in the state of Hawaii. So my plan is to dissolve Pavlina Communications, which is a California company, and just transition completely and just work with my new corporation. So another thing the other side asked me to tell you guys is that naming my new corporation turned into this huge to-do. And it became a really stressful experience for me. When I originally formed my new corporation in Hawaii, I named it the Absolute Truth Corporation. And it was fine. The name was fine. It was okay. It's aligned with what I do. The Absolute Truth Corporation. It makes sense, right? So I filed the paperwork. It went through. Congratulations, your corporation is blah, blah, blah. Here's your tax ID number, blah, blah. And then my gut started bothering me. But it wasn't bothering me like, hey, Christine, you made a mistake. It's, hey, Christine, you can do better. And when I tuned in the other side, I was like, what do you mean I could do better? What are you talking about? And they're like, it's boring. And they were sitting there yawning. They're like, the name of your new corporation is boring. And so I was like, no. So I was involved in a gut situation where it was a good, better, best type of energy that I was feeling, where you didn't make a mistake, this is okay, but you can do better. So the energetic difference between the two was slight, but it was something that I could still pick up on. So it was going to take money and paperwork to file a name change. And so I had a focus group with all my friends. And I said, which name do you prefer? And everybody said the Absolute Truth Corporation. And only 2 people said the other name. And the other name is silly. It's called the Absolute Superhero Corporation. My inner child loves it. It's really fun. It's a silly name. I love it. But my marketing brain and my psychic brain were arguing with each other because my marketing brain agreed with the focus group that the Absolute Truth Corporation just sounded better, stronger, serious corporation. Yeah. And then the other name, the Absolute Superhero Corporation, had more energy behind it, but it was just silly and whatever. Well, my psychic side won. My psychic side beat my marketing side, and I ended up naming it the Absolute Superhero Corporation. And I see why they wanted me to do that, because it's just more fun and more exciting, and it does have slightly more energy behind it, and they love it. So, like I said, the intuitive difference in my gut was not like closed and tight or open and relaxed. It was open and relaxed and excited, open and relaxed and more excited. So when it comes to universal energies, I want them more excited. I want the juice. I want that gas in my tank, especially when it comes to my company. So that's why I decided to change the name, and I paid the money and I filed, and I had to set my ego aside and look like a total idiot with my attorney. And when I did it, the other side said, better to do it now. They said, better to deal with the headache now than later. So I did. Now, to somebody looking in from the outside, oh, you made a mistake. It cost you money. You made a mistake. You could say that. I have no problem with you saying, oh, Christine made a mistake. But technically, I mean, yeah, you could call it a mistake because it cost me money. And it would have been easier just to file properly in the beginning. But I think what you're looking at is my free will, my marketing side versus my intuitive side. And me recognizing that I have free will and knowing that I can name my company, whatever. So that was that drama. But it was hard. It was hard for me to discern during that time frame. And that's another thing the other side wanted me to talk to you guys about, was the power of discussion. Because when I was setting up my corporate bank account, the bank representative and I were actually talking about the name change, and she actually preferred the Absolute Superhero Corporation personally. But we were talking about the corporate name change, and I could feel my gut responding to what she was saying, and I understand the energetic difference in my gut now. I understand why it ended up being kind of a headache. When you have a calm discussion with your husband, wife, friend, pay really close attention to how your gut feels when they're talking about stuff, because that's a great litmus test for you to get a nice, clean gut reaction to what you're planning on doing. So if your husband or wife says, yeah, I mean, we could move to Cincinnati, but I'm not sure if we would like blah, 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 blah. As you're listening to them talk, you're focusing your mind on moving to Cincinnati, and you're imagining it, and your gut's responding. So pay close attention to that. Because what you might be doing is sitting there meditating and not getting an answer and grabbing onto the other side's ankle and getting really stressed out about the answer. And so your vibe is low. But when you're just calmly having this discussion with somebody about it, your vibe is high and you're relaxed and open, and it's a perfect opportunity for the other side to come through with a gut reaction for you. So post-mortem, when I was talking to the bank representative about everything and I was feeling the difference in my gut between the 2 corporate names, I was like, all right, I'm not going to beat myself up, because I know the energetic difference between the 2 is just, it wasn't right and wrong. It was better and best. It wasn't right or wrong. It was better and best. See how much fun this is? Another thing I noticed is that sometimes your gut reaction will intensify, or the answer will become stronger after you make a free will decision. Where if you say, okay, I'm for sure doing blah, 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 all of a sudden the other side will be like, no, 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 come back. And all of a sudden your gut will feel stronger. And I guess the reason for that is because while you're Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall, maybe the energy is not as strong. But then when you choose a side of the wall, all of a sudden universal energies respond to that free will decision. So you're either going to feel universal energy say, no, 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 come back. Or it's going to be like, okay, you made the right choice. And you're going to feel like this positive, like uplifting energy. Like, yeah, good job. You did the right thing. So that's what had happened, is after I made the decision with the corporate name to pursue the Absolute Truth Corporation, that's when they were like, I got the nagging thoughts. It's like, well, it's kind of boring. Like I said, I still had free will. I still could have kept it the Absolute Truth Corporation. I just decided not to because I want more energy behind it. But yeah, that's one of the things I just wanted to let you guys know, that's how intuition works. Is a lot of times you'll get a clear answer after you make a free will decision. So I do kind of mess with the other side a lot with that, where I'm like, okay, I've decided to do blah, blah, blah. And then like I use that to my advantage. Okay, I'm deciding to go in this direction then. And I like assert myself and then just wait for the energy to respond in my gut. Is that okay? So that's actually a pretty solid way of doing it too, you guys. Some of the things that I noticed about Hawaii, number one, they're very honest. When I landed at the Kahului airport with Toonces, we had to immediately have a vet inspect him. So I got pulled back from baggage claim. I didn't claim my bag for a long time. And when I walked into baggage claim, I literally thought I was on candid camera, because I walked in, no people in sight, all the carousels were completely empty, and in the entire baggage claim area was just my suitcase, just like sitting there all by itself. And I was like, this is just odd, because I really respected the honesty of the people that just left my suitcase alone. Because in LA, I don't know if it would have still been there. In LA, people would be like, oh, dummy forgot her bag, mine now. So that was a pretty pleasant surprise. It was pretty surreal to just see this lone suitcase sitting there. I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you. I noticed that the Hawaiians use a lot of vowels. I don't know how to spell anything here. Like, I was writing down a street name and I was like, is that 3 A's or 4? So I feel kind of lame with regards to spelling here, but hopefully I'll pick it up eventually and get the hang of it. I noticed their rain patterns are completely different from LA. Like, in LA, a storm hits, it rains, and then it leaves. It just commits, like dumps on us and then leaves. In Hawaii, it'll rain for like 2 minutes. So if you get your car washed, 2 minutes of rain could completely ruin your car wash, and that's it for the day. So I was asking someone if they bother getting their car washed here, and he's like, not really, we don't care. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I think that's why everything here is so green. I like how family-oriented it is here. The Uber driver was telling me that someone tried to put a strip club in, but the city like fought it and said, you're not welcome here, and chased him out. So when I heard that story, I thought that was awesome, because I was like, what a perfect place to raise a family. Sounds good to me. Okay. So yeah, that was pretty cool to hear. I'm excited that I still have use for my Ugg boots and sweaters, because my sweaters are like this nice, warm, fluffy, soft blanket that I like wrap myself in, and it feels like a hug from the divine. And it gets windy here in the evening, so I'm excited I still have use for my sweaters, because I wasn't sure if I was going to. Definitely not in July, but now in December I can. I'm the kind of person who wears Ugg boots with ripped jean shorts. Yes, I'm one of those people. And I will continue to do so with pride. Good stuff. I love my Ugg boots. I noticed that I eat a lot less here. I have just less of an appetite here, probably because I'm on an island. Temperature's warmer. You just feel like lighter fare. You just want like salads and fresh veggies and fresh fish, as opposed to like, you know, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, whatever. You don't really feel like eating anything heavy. You want like the cooler food. you know, like cold salads and that kind of thing. It's just very refreshing and light, you know. I love the clean air and water here. My skin feels softer, my hair feels baby soft, my laundry smells fresher, my lungs are happier. I love the clean air and water here. It's awesome. It just makes you feel fantastic and just energized and just so healthy. It's great. It's great. I noticed a really big energetic difference, and I feel like this was also one of the reasons why the divine had me relocate here. It's the island mentality. What's the rush? Slow down. Everything will get done. Just relax. Don't worry. Every little thing's going to be all right. And the energy here engulfs you as soon as you get off the plane. If you have anxiety, you don't have anxiety anymore here. Because the energy just completely relaxes you and all the stress drains from your body. And it's not rush, rush, rush. It's just slow down, take your time, be present, live in the moment. Everything's going to get done and you'll be fine. And so I notice when I'm here, I think slower, I talk slower, I move slower, I drive slower, I'm very patient and just relaxed. And it is a fantastic energy to live in. It really is a higher level of existence, and I love it. And just that overall attitude just takes you over when you're here. So I do understand, besides the beauty of the island, people come here for the energy, to unwind from work. Because I know that as soon as I get off that plane in Los Angeles, the Energizer Bunny is going to come back. Rush, 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 rush. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Talk fast, think fast, move fast, get it done, be productive. And, just that frenetic energy is going to come back, and I'm going to turn into the Energizer Bunny again. And living in Hawaii is absolutely perfect for an intuitive, because not only is it a spiritual culture, but meditation is easier here because you're slowing down. You're allowing the other side to come through and communicate with you by slowing down. That's half the battle, right? Quieting your mind, sticking your feet in the sand, being in nature, opening up your chakras. This is a perfect place for that. So this is a perfect place for intuitives. It really is. Aside from me feeling just less vulnerable here and safer, it really is a perfect place spiritually for me to communicate with the other side. And I'm happier here. I really am. I'm more comfortable. I'm content. I feel like I'm aligned with truth. I'm exactly where the divine wants me to be right now. And there's a level of complacency in knowing that. That's another thing that I'm pretty excited about, is I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, so I don't have that like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm homesick. Like I don't have that. I mean, I have this peace of mind knowing that this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't have any regrets. I'm not looking back like, oh, what am I doing? I'm scared. Like, I'm not scared. What do I have to be afraid of? I'm following divine orders. I mean, I'm stressed out because I have like a lot to do, but it's not like, oh my God, did I make a mistake? What if I regret my decision? Like, there's no threats of regret in my relocation. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's a very deliberate life that I lead. It's a very deliberate decision. But I can make that assertion like, hey, my life is very deliberate. I know what I'm doing, but at the same time, there's a lot of blind faith and trust involved too. For example, I don't have a place to live yet, and it hasn't materialized yet, so I'm just kind of this buoy floating in the ocean right now. All I know is that when it comes to me, for some reason, the divine is obsessed with hotels. It's a very expensive thing that he asks of me, but for now, he just seems to be like obsessed with hotels for me. So this is where I'll be until another option presents itself to me. I'll just sit here and be kind of like in receiving mode, like, okay, I'm open to whatever, God. Sounds good. Just let it flow. I invite whatever the universe wants to bring me, right? I don't have a place to live. I don't know when a place to live is going to show up. I have no idea. So it is funny that it's like, you look at my life and you're like, oh, she's got like this certainty over here and then this uncertainty over here. It's a little ridiculous, the life I lead. It's like following divine orders and then just going with the flow. So, but that's the deal for right now. I do not have a place to live yet. I'm just going to do whatever I can do, right? I'll make YouTube videos about, you know, whatever comes through whenever I can. I'm running around this island right now trying to get everything together on the back end because I have a lot to do, but I'll definitely, you know, try to find time for videos as soon as I can. Whenever I can, I'll definitely open up my calendar to do readings as soon as I get everything, you know, set with my accountant and making sure, you know, everything is, you know, in place to do that. You know, making the state of Hawaii happy, making the federal government happy, making sure everything's totally cool before I start receiving money through, you know, the new corporation. So that's where everything stands right now. I'm happy, I'm healthy. Toons is really happy and healthy. I have no regrets. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I have that peace of mind. It's just no place to live yet. So I'll be working from, you know, a hotel room until I know what's up. But yeah, I'm very, very happy here. But I didn't come here just to screw around. You know, if the divine had asked me to move to Detroit and he said that was my highest good, I would have moved to Detroit. I mean, I guess I'm very lucky that my highest good is Hawaii. I can't complain. I guess I'm lucky that this is where the divine wants me. Thank you, divine. Love you. So I'm happy to be here. This island is beautiful. The people have been really sweet so far. They're very helpful, you know, when you tell them that you just moved here, they don't just treat you like a leper. They're very sweet. They offer advice and suggestions, and they're being very warm and welcoming, so I totally appreciate that. I don't know a soul on this island except for Toonses. I feel like I should be more lonely, but I'm really not. I get like pangs of loneliness here and there, but not really lonely, but I feel like I should be. But then I also feel like the divine and spirit guides and my higher self are sending me positive energy. So I don't know, they're so big on like self-reliance and self-care and self-love that, I don't know, they kind of trained me to give myself what I need. I mean, let's face it, you guys, I walk around calling myself the absolute. I mean, by now I better be able to give myself what I need. I mean, I better. Mentally, emotionally, I've been living on an island for a long time. I just happen to be living on an island physically now. So I guess I was mentally and emotionally prepared for this. I feel like I should be more lonely than I am. I'm just not. Thank God. Thank God for that. And I did get a little bit homesick on my second day here. So I drove to Kahului and I went to the Target and I got like a nice decaf Starbucks and got a cart and just wandered around the aisles of Target. And that was very soothing for me, and it was kind of a taste of home because I spent most of my time at Target in LA anyway. I love Target. So the one in Kahului is really big and it was very soothing for me. So that made me happy, and I felt like I got a taste of home. Normalcy. Because I'm having a who moved my cheese moment. Just the change and just acclimating. And just not knowing what you're doing day in, day out. Everything takes longer. You don't know where you're going. You're reliant on your GPS for like absolutely everything. But hey, that's part of the adventure, right? So, but yeah, I'm excited to be here, and I'm just feeling really blessed right now. This really is a higher level of existence, so me and Toonses are going to do just fine, and we will keep you updated on everything as it happens. Yeah, hopefully I'll eventually find a place to live. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Aloha.